how do you motivate yourself, especially after failure or while you are in this process of, I've just shut down my business? The thing about you, you are the perfect candidate to have this conversation. What makes you keep getting back up? Because you've had some epic failures in terms, and I put that in quotes, in terms of you have the perfect excuse to quit.
Yeah. Well, so there are different ways to look at it. So my first company is still there and doing very well. I'm not a part of it, but it's there. There were good lessons to learn there. My second company is still there. It's actually growing, right? And the third company is here. Everything has been a step in the right direction, right? Are there things I've tried and the timing was wrong? Yes, I tried farming, the timing was wrong. But as far as how to stay focused, I have an end game. I have an end game in mind, and that end game is I will build a unicorn. That's my end game.
I love that you're saying it even before it's done.
Yes, I will build
so right now, currently, you don't have
grace and God's help. Yes.
Yeah.
Currently, I don't have.
Currently, as we speak right now, you don't have a unicorn.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yes, and that's important to say, because somebody watching this in 2060.
Let me tell you something. I have a friend who went to they put together this amazing thing. There's a board I sit on, and they have this Harvard class, and one of my friends went, and she came back last year but won, and she said she was the she was the MD then, and she said, Julian, it's interesting that in this class of people who've built unicorns, there are people from all over the world in this Harvard class, and I want to demystify something. So unicorns are not in tech necessarily. You can have an agriculture unicorn, right? It's about the value of the business. And she said it's interesting that a lot of these people built their first unicorn in their early 50s, mid 50s and early 60s. Then their second unicorns also in their mid 50s and early 60s. And some of them, very few of them, in their late 40s. I want to remove the notion in our minds that everybody's going to be a Mark Zuckerberg. Not everybody can build $1 billion organization at 26. So first of all, that's
you can count them on one hand.
Yes, that's a misnomer. It's not the norm.
It's an anomaly.
It's an anomaly. It's what you wouldn't count as normal. The real normal thing for people to reach that level of business is in their late 40s and their 50s. So first of all, everybody stop short-circuiting process. Take your time. Yes, do what you have to do, and what you have to do quickly, do it, but take your time, because you're going to have to do the time. And these were guys from Brazil, Mexico, America, right? Spain, different parts of the world. And they were there, and they've built unicorns. Some of them are on their third unicorn. Right? Because at some point, building the next one, once you've built your first unicorn, the next time you announce I'm starting a company, you have funders from everywhere wanting to back you. So it gets easier. But the first one, and the first successful business in terms of, even now, I've raised money because my businesses were not, they were successful. Hey, Richard, you don't build a business in 28 markets as a joker.
You don't.
You don't. It takes everything. It takes a lot. I had an amazing co-founder. We built this thing together. It is tough. So as I build now, I have experience. Now, right now, as I speak to you, there are people inviting me to 10 countries. I'm not interested. I'm saying I'm focused on what I know is going to work. What I know is going to work.
They're already inviting you to scale to 10 business.
I have thorough invitations. I could be in 10 countries if I wanted to in less than 6 months. That experience will never, ever disappear. Are you with me?
With you.
So the thing is, I motivate myself by staying true to the cause of what I believe I was called to do. First, I was called to help settle people, change a narrative on how housing is viewed by people. The same way that they got a cell phone into a watchman's hands, I think there's a day it should not be a testimony to have a basic need.
House.
Like a home. Right? As far as access to credit and access to finance is concerned, it should not be punitive for a person who is not in the top echelons of society to access credit. They should not be punished for accessing credit. It should not be a punitive cost for that person to access credit. Are you with me?
With you.
And therefore, in looking at what's the value that drives the things you do, if there's value, if there's a value system, the rest will organize itself. So stay true to the cause. I am constantly going back to God to help me rediscover me, becoming more self-aware, becoming more sincere with myself, and also exposing myself to the right material to read, the right material to, and also the right people. That's actually a very important piece. So you meet amazing people in life, but I'm discovering I'm making investments in very particular conversations and types of people, and that helps me grow and stay sane. And I keep at my true fundamental, which is I'm teaching the word of God, and I want to be the first disciple of everything I teach. Yes.
I'll stick just one more time on this failure, and just because I'm thinking of an entrepreneur whose business may have shut down, or COVID may have even ended it. Emotionally, I love the fact that you've got this focus that probably drives you. But how do you get out of the emotional? Because that's now the killing point, to be honest.
It's devastating to lose something you've worked on for long. It's devastating. You can lose your mind. That's the truth. You can lose your mind. You can lose energy to wake up. In fact, at that vulnerable point, many people make very desperate mistakes. You'll find that's when people will go try out tenders quickly. Just seasoned entrepreneurs, you'll start wanting to do crazy things because now you're trying to make up for loss. And that's a moment of a thorough sanity check, because it's devastating. First, you get filled with a lot of fear. You get filled with anxiety. But I want to tell people this, and this I've seen it happen. Please don't lose your sanity. You don't have the luxury of going nuts. The only way to recover is to first make sure you don't go nuts. So first you have to keep your sanity. Whatever has happened, it's gone. Keep your head focused, because if you don't get back in the game, you're dead. Number 2, don't try to do something you're not good at. The thing that failed is probably what you're good at. You gave it enough time, it was gaining momentum, something happened that just crushed it. There's a treasure in there. You go back fishing in the same lake, right? Jesus told Peter to go back fishing. He didn't question him. He was an expert fisherman. But he said, I've toiled all night, nevertheless at your word. And he went back to the same lake to fish, and this time he caught. And sometimes we just need a different mindset, a different word to go back to the same waters, and we'll catch. So I want to encourage someone who may be there to say, look, you may feel like the world has come from under your feet, but please hear me clearly. Don't lose your mind. Become very self-aware right now. Catch yourself. Stop snapping at your spouse or whoever you're snapping at. Catch yourself. The thing can be built again. It's really just a matter of time. If you take what you've thought through and built. When I woke up and decided I'm building again, I was able to raise enough money faster than I've ever raised. Yet I was busy looking down on myself. So I want you to know it's possible to get back in the ring, but use your experience and be honest with people about it. Don't try to camouflage it. Be honest with people about it so that they can trust you from the get-go, because chances are they'll have done their homework if they're gonna fund you. And don't exaggerate truths. Just be honest with yourself, but get back into your game. Richard, that will keep you sane, is to see it beginning to work again. That's one of the things you can do for yourself. If that's not possible, then get something to do and get your hands busy. Just don't stay
idle.
It will eat you and you will sink into a depression faster than any midnight train. You will sink into a depression. Don't play with this thing, it'll kill you. And by the way, 5 years can go just like that. Just like that. You can be idle for 5 years and not realize, and your flavor will no longer be as appealing. When you come back, you'll be talking a very old game when the world has moved on. So the longer you take to reinvent yourself, the more stale you're becoming. The world is moving at such a fast pace that you can get stale in a year. So get back in the game now, or just forget it.
This is definitely the last question, man. I feel like this masterclass has definitely been what it is. This class in session on business and on entrepreneurship and raising.
You've been asking me 2 questions for the last 10 questions.
No, this is the last one, I promise. This is the last one. Man, I had so many more, but I'm like, no, I put a hard stop at 2 o'clock. So I want to understand one of the biggest problems that we have as entrepreneurs and business people in today's day and age is employee retention. So at this stage, when you're doing business, how do you retain employees? How do you prevent high turnover? Because you're the pioneer. I speak this as somebody who did this in business, and I saw people look at my staff, offer them 10 times more, they're Audi. Offer them better perks. How do you retain employees?